Now let's begin today's episode of The Conversation, taking a quote from Bangabiki Habayamina. He is a Rwandan writer and blogger. He once said that let no one ever intimidate you. You are standing on no one's ground. But again, some have claimed the earth as their own and usurped power from the rest of us. But they are usurpers. Power belongs to every one of us. Seek it as much as possible. There is no shame in that. In fact, it is a necessity. Either you have power or you are trampled to death in the stampede to get to the top. Wow, that's a very, looks interesting. And then, well, let's see how this quote actually relates to what we will be discussing today. Warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We're reaching you from Captain's Television Studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabelle Oji. Now, dozens of pro-Osinbajo support group under the aegis of New Tribes Movement have told Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo that no agreement should deter or stop him from contesting for the presidential seat in the 2023 general elections. This was, as they said, Osinbajo should heed calls put across to him by Nigerians to contest for the #1 seat in the country. A member of the movement and member representing Katungu Shango Federal Constituency, Gombe State, Simon Karu, stated this in Kano while fielding questions from newsmen on insinuations that there was a written agreement between the Vice President Osinbajo and the national leader of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed TINUBU, about a succession plan. Now, according to Karu, he said, end quote, on the issue of negotiation or any agreements, it could be a thing that has been practiced in the past, but Nigerians and the youths today say Nigeria is not for sale. We say no to any agreement prior to this generation. Nigerians and the youth must decide who lead them and not a team of persons who discuss our future on behalf of us. We therefore called on Professor Osinbajo to field our call to vie for the presidency. We know his competence and capability, and we are looking forward to when he will heed our call. End of quote. So, earlier in a communique by the movement and read by Chairman Delta State Osinbajo Grassroots Organization, Professor David J.T. Ejenebo, he called on the ruling party APC to hand over the party's flag bearer to the Vice President for continuity and consolidation of the Giant Stride project initiated by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Now, in the same vein, some Nigerian women have made a call to stop bad governance in Nigeria, stating that the 2023 general election will be a very decisive juncture in the history of Nigeria. They made this known at a press conference organized by the National Coalition of Women for Osinbajo on Wednesday in Abuja. Captain TV's correspondent Benedict Uku has more on this report as read from our studios.
To save Nigeria from shipwreck, Nigerians have been urged to elect a candidate who has the capacity. The group, which was identified as the Coalition of Women for Osinbajo, noted that 2023 will be a very decisive year in the history of Nigeria. Hence the need to make a clear decision by choosing a leader known to be ready to work for the development of the future and the betterment of the country. The chairperson steering committee of the coalition, Rabi Dauda, said Nigerian women are fully in support and believe in Professor Yemi Osinbajo as a credible, objective and intelligent leader whose capacity has been proven over time.
The 2023 general election will be a very decisive juncture in the history of Nigeria, and our great party APC has an epoch-making responsibility to move the nation forward. by deepening democracy, considering affirmative action for 33% affirmative action representation for women, and accelerating general development. Without any iota of doubt, we believe that the emergence of Professor Yomi Osinbajo as the 2023 presidential flag bearer of the APC will give Nigeria the opportunity to realize these lofty collective progressive aspirations. It is important that Nigerians make a clear decision by choosing a leader known to be ready to work for the development of the future and the betterment of the country, rather than joining those politicians who have tendencies to exploit public office as an opportunity to fill their pockets and bank accounts. National Coalition of Women for Osinbajo urged the APC Caretaker Committee, Convention Committee to strictly ensure that delegates to its national convention are not hijacked by those who have participated in looting state and federal resources in the past. We also appeal for increased pace towards ending insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, and other crimes, as women and children tend to be the worst affected victims of criminality and other antisocial acts.
Other women also demanded affirmative action for increased representation of women and youths after the 2023 election. They noted that it is important to ensure that the future of Nigeria is secured by handing it over to a capable and people-focused leader for the job.
Our purpose in our own foundation is community development, community government. That community government, apart from the local government, community government should be included in the governance of the people. And after all we have deliberated and the bill went up and came down and are still working on it, we agreed that we will support Osinbajo, because the few times he has acted in the absence of the president, we have seen what he has done. We have seen how he has been able to effect changes. And we are believing that if all is equal and by the grace of God, he is voted into power, Nigeria will be better. And we are praying for the best for Nigeria.
President Osinbajo is not power drunk. It's something everybody knows. It's obvious. You can see it in Osinbajo. He's a very simple man. You can assess him. Osinbajo is not somebody that is coming and everybody will be shivering and be jittering and be running helter-skelter. So godfatherism or no godfatherism, you cannot see such with Osinbajo.
The group also called on people in the government, law enforcement agents involved in tackling menace in the society to also stand to ensure the success of the 2023 general elections.
Glad to have you back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we have our guest. She's Hajia Rabi Dauda. She is the chairperson, Caretaker Committee, National Coalition of Women for Osinbajo. You're welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Having me.
Great to have you. All right, now let's start by getting your thought. You are the chairperson, Caretaker Committee of the National Coalition of Women for Osinbajo. Talk to us about this group. What is the objective of this group, and what does this group seek to address?
Thank you very much. I'm the chairperson, Sterling Committee, not Caretaker, Sterling Committee.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Of the Coalition of Women for Osinbajo. The Coalition for Osinbajo group comprises of about 52 different women's groups,
okay,
who are advocating and pleading with the Vice President, Professor Yomi Osinbajo, to come out and contest the next presidential election, 2023. We felt, why should we have different groups when we're all speaking the same language? Let's all speak in one voice. So we came together, formed the coalition, and things are better for it.
Oh, okay, great. So what exactly is the aim that you seek to address?
Our aim is to pressure the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, into contesting come 2023. And after that, sell him to Nigerians as the best candidate for the job.
Now, I hear you put pressure. We're going to come back to that. So who is funding or bankrolling the group or the coalition of the groups?
We're self-funded.
Okay.
We're self-funded. There's no one out there. We fund ourselves. We do everything we do ourselves.
So you have women come together,
put their money together,
crowdfund,
put their resources together,
and then put their time together to pressure the vice president.
Oh, yes.
Oh, great. Okay, so now, has the vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, declared his intentions to run for Nigeria's presidency come 2023 elections publicly or privately to any of this group or to you that have actually warranted this get up and go?
That was why I used the word pressure from the beginning. To the best of my knowledge, he has not told anybody he's interested in the job. He has not publicly or privately said he was interested, to the best of my knowledge. That was why I used the word pressure. But we think he's the best person for the job. Because of his tendencies, he's strong, he's versatile, he has been in the corridors of power, he has been the vice president in other civilized countries. Before the post of the presidency, or before every presidential election, the first person you consider for the job is the vice president. And why is that? Because he has been deputized, he knows what it takes to do the job, having deputized, and we've had Professor Yemi Osinbajo as vice president act on behalf of the sitting president in the past. And to the best of our knowledge, he performed very well. Why get someone outside there? Why get a greenhorn to come do the job? When you have somebody who already knows how to do the job, who has the interests of Nigerians at heart, who is articulate, who is capable, who has no skeletons in his cupboards, no scandals hiding anywhere to hunt him down to do the job. So we felt, let's have him do the job. And anyone who has the interests of Nigeria at heart should root and plead with the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, to contest the next presidential election. I think Nigeria will be better for it.
So I keep wondering, when he already has not actually declared his intentions, whether to the president or to the public, and then you have people coming together to pressurize him to declare his intentions and still vie for the presidency. And then you talked about that you have seen, we've all seen his antecedents and the fact that he has been in power. So then you have, so with all of the hats that has been thrown in the ring, and you still have some that will be coming, because there's some others in the pipeline. We're already in the election year. So what exactly prompted your group on saying that, regardless, it has to be Professor Yemi Osinbajo? You have other people there that have already declared their intentions, and they've been in power, and they have the antecedents, they have the willpower and all.
Yes. Professor Osinbajo, to the best of my knowledge, is the first vice president, Nigerian vice president we've had that has never had any rancors, any problems, any misunderstanding with his principal. He's a peaceful man. He's a caring man. He has the interest of Nigerians at heart. I don't think he hasn't had reasons to come out there and say one or two things, but he hasn't done so. Because he has the interest of Nigerians, and he knows whatever he does bounces back on the masses. Whatever he does negatively bounces back on the masses. And as women, when there's rancor, when there's unrest, when there's no peace, the women and children suffer the most. When your husbands come home and they are not happy, the children are not happy, wives are not happy. When the country is going through unrest, the women and children suffer the most. Professor Osinbajo is a professor of law. He knows the difference between the right and the wrong. He has been consistent in being calm, in being the complete gentleman that he is. He is articulate. I was at a function last evening where he talked about the 35% affirmative action. I know how many conferences I've attended in order to have the 35% affirmative action adopted. He was in the midst of women, and he spoke so laudably about having more women participate in politics. He hammered upon the 35% affirmative action. How many people have we heard say that? Or be that passionate about actualizing the 35% affirmative action? The women will be far better for us if the 35% affirmative action is actualized. You will agree with me, I'm sure.
I do agree with you, but is that your reason, or is that the reason why the women had to pressurize him to vie for the seat?
Because we've put all the other candidates on the table. Yes, we're not saying they are not good, they are good. Let's not go for good, let's go for greatness. He is a greater and better candidate for the job. To the best of our knowledge.
So I hear you talk about, you said that he is humble, he is quiet, and then a lot of people will say that Nigeria at the moment, with all that we're going through, the security-wise, economy, Nigeria don't need someone that is humble and quiet.
That doesn't stop him from doing his job. Being humble and quiet doesn't stop him from doing his job. When I say he's humble and quiet, I mean he's not a troublesome person. He doesn't make unnecessary trouble. But it doesn't mean when trouble comes knocking, he will not do something about it. That's not it.
Okay, so I'd like to ask you personally, do you know Vice President Osinbajo personally?
I've never met him. I've never met him. I don't know him. I don't know anyone who knows him personally. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know anyone who knows me personally, to the best of my knowledge.
So in all of this, with all of the pressure, with all of the push, all of the get up and go that you all come together to put, and then what if he says that I am not interested? What will happen?
Heavens will not come down if he says he's not interested. Like I said, we have not said there aren't good people out there. There are good people. But we put all of them on the table and he came up tops, considering a great deal of characteristics that he has. If he says he's not coming out, all well and good, we will go for the next best.
I've asked this
but
question.
I'm sure if we keep putting pressure on him, he will not deny us that duty to serve. He will not deny the masses, Nigerian women, Nigerian children, Nigerian mothers and wives, that duty to serve them. He's a God-fearing man. And he knows the job.
I've asked you this question when we started, and I will ask you again. We just saw a report where the group came together. You have the coalition of different groups coming together, seeking for the support of him coming to vie for presidency. Like I said, I've asked before, is there anyone bankrolling the group? Or you just do this, you organize the meetings on your own and then you crowdfund from yourself and that's it?
That's what we do, absolutely. And I challenge anyone out there who says they've sponsored us in any way to come out and say so.
Okay, great. All right, so now we have noticed that since the national leader of the party, APC, that's the same party where Professor Yemi Osinbajo is at the moment, has declared, Bola Ahmed TINUBU has declared his intentions to run for presidency, as he has told the president and then the public. And since then, it has stirred up quite a lot of dust to the polity. As you see that immediately had other aspirants in the pipeline all came out of the cocoon, and then we know that definitely more people will still come out. And then you have the governor of Ebonyi State, that's David Umahi, same joined the race, and then, like I said, a lot of people will still come out. So was this actually the reason for this push, or will I say the persuasion or the pressure, the reason for the pressure for this push for the vice president to run?
I didn't get the question now.
With all of the pressure that you've got, that since the national leader came forth, declared, then we now saw people coming in. It has stirred quite a lot of dust to the polity. So a lot of people started coming in. Those that were hiding in their cocoons came out of the pipeline to say that they are interested. So is that the reason for this pressure, or you had this before then?
No. We've had our various groups for over 1 year.
Okay.
Over 1 year. We've been in the media. We've been pushing. We've been working over 1 year. We didn't just start now. We only decided now to come together and speak in one voice and form a coalition where we'll get things done better. The better, the merrier. We'll get things better, done better, faster, and more, and be more articulate. We've been working over 1 year. Over 1 year.
So you didn't just start when Bola Ahmed TINUBU declared his intentions?
No. We sure didn't. We didn't even know the leader of the APC was interested in the same job when we started. We never knew.
Okay.
He just declared about 2-3 weeks ago or so. But we've been working for over 1 year.
So don't you think that this will actually dampen the morale of your candidate or your chosen candidate, seeing that the national leader, who is his superior, is also running for the same position? Like they say that it is unwise for a child to be interested in what his father is interested in concurrently.
I do not think so. I don't share that opinion. I think politics, it's a free world, it's a choice. If the candidate we are rooting for decides to come out, that doesn't stop the leader from also coming out. If it was Professor Yemi Osinbajo that came out first, that wouldn't stop the leader of the party from coming out. The fact that the leader of the party has come out in no way, doesn't in any way dampen our spirit. And if our candidate wants to come out, I don't think that should dampen his spirit. The primary elections will decide who flags the tickets of the APC. And everybody has a right to contest. Even I have a right as an APC member and a Nigerian to go pick the form and say I want to contest. So I don't think so. I don't think so at all. No.
Okay, so we'll definitely come back to that. So now, seeing that your party APC has fixed the date of the national convention, which should take place next month in February. So how much will that convention, or how much will the choice of the leaders, that's the national chairman, how much will it actually make or mar your push for the vice president to vie into this position?
Well, a choice of the chairman or other party executive has absolutely nothing to do with our project. Our project is to sell Professor Yemi Osinbajo, to persuade him to contest. That's our aim. It has absolutely nothing to do with the election of the chairman or other party executives. All we're going to do after the convention, when they come into office, is to persuade them to reason with us and do the needful in choosing the right candidate, a great candidate to represent and carry the flag of the party.
So what is the plan for you afterwards, if he becomes the president?
Oh, if he becomes the president, we look forward to better Nigeria, where business will flourish, where lives will be better, where lives and property will be better secured. We look forward to a better Nigeria.
All right, great. Then now let's talk about marginalization, because you said you also have the right to also vie for that position, being a member of the party. Now let's talk about marginalization. For a while now, the women and the youth feel marginalized in politics. They feel that they have not been given a fair shot at politics. So is your group, the National Sterling Committee of Women for Osinbajo, doing anything in this regard, or are you just focused on bringing one particular person who is yet to declare his intentions to vie for that presidency? Even though we've seen reports of different youths and different women coming to declaring their intentions to vie for that position. What are you doing for other women and the youths?
We are also sensitizing our women to go out for elective positions. We intend to work for election of women into positions, both in the political parties and into elective offices, irrespective of political party.
Okay.
We intend, we're doing that already. A lot of groups, like the Northern Women in Politics, the Nigerian Women in Politics, are also doing that. And some of us are affiliated to these organizations who champion such cause. Yes, women have been marginalized, yes. The major reason is because women don't have the finances that men have. We're also working at that, to see that every woman who comes out to vie for elective posts gets the finance, the support, absolute support that she's needed. Where a man and a woman are contesting for the same post, every woman should vote for the woman. That's going to be our campaign.
Oh, so how much work have you done in that regard? Because now we've seen the last elections that was held in Anambra State, where you had only one woman who came out. But then you still have the complaints of women not even pushing for women.
We have been working. I can guarantee you that. I don't know what happened in Imo. I cannot talk for Imo here, but we've been working. I assure you, you'll see more women come out during the next general elections. Even at the convention, you'll find a lot of women vying for positions in political parties. We've been sensitizing women, and the response has been very good.
Oh, great.
Response has been good.
So, since 2023 is fast approaching, what exactly do you think that women or the youth in politics can do differently to get more representations and more participation in politics of our own beloved country?
The first thing women and youth need to do is to come out. Let's stop shying away from politics. There's politics. Our life generally is all about politics. In our homes, in our marriages, in our places of work, even in the market, there's politics. Let's stop shying away from politics. Come out. Don't shy away from it. We are asking women and the youth to come out. Don't be scared, even when you don't have the resources. Some other groups, women, are putting groups together, putting funds together to sponsor women and youth. for elective posts. So more women and youths need to come out. If you don't come out, where do you expect these resources being put together to go into? So the effort will be wasted, and you can't force anybody to come out. We can only pressure them, talk to them, sensitize, advise, mentor them into coming out, which we've been doing. We actually started about 2 years ago. We've had conferences, we've had meetings, we've had gatherings where we've hampered on it. Last night, I also heard the Minister for Women Affairs at the gala night ending the APC Women Conference. She also hampered on that. If you don't come out, you won't get people to stand up for you. We've been working on that.
Aside coming out, so how much will the Electoral Act Amendment Bill that has been, the talks about it, how much will it affect either through direct or indirect primaries? How much will it affect either women or the youth coming out?
In the same vein, it will affect the men. The men are in for a shock this time around. I can guarantee you that. The women are ready. We're prepared. If the Amendment Act will affect the men adversely, it will also affect the women. If it doesn't, it will not affect the women. So we are ready, we're prepared, we're waiting.
All right then, so do you actually think that the Nigerian youth are disposed enough to go through the strain and the commitment that is involved in governing a multifaceted country like ours, Nigeria?
Nigerian youths are most disposed. They're ready. And they've seen so much. They're agitated. They have pent up anger. They're working for change. They want change to happen. They're hypered up. They're heated up. They're ready. They're most disposed. You'll find a lot of youths at the next general election vying for positions. You can see one of the political parties have a 20-something-year-old as a youth leader. That goes to say a lot. They're ready.
So with all of this, do you think that is actually the NSAS protest that geared up the youth and then making them to understand that regardless, they're ready for this, and then making the older generations to know that the youths of today is not what you used to know before? Because like my grandmother used to tell me that when they were growing up, they told them that the youths are the future leaders of tomorrow. But then yet you still see the older generation still take power up until now.
The youths have been geared up before the NSAS. NSAS was just something that crept up at a time tensions were very high. They've been geared up a very long time. They've not had an opportunity to achieve their aims because the older generation refused to give them that opportunity. But the laws of Nigeria have given them the opportunity to do so. And they are ready. And like I said before, finance has been the major setback for women and youths. And that's why we've come together to see how we can source for this finance to assist women and youth. With the assistance, with the mentoring, they're ready. They're absolutely ready.
All right, quite a lot of things you said that I will pick out from your last statement, but let's go on a quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues in earnest. I will see you shortly. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now, if you just joined us, you missed quite a lot, as we still have our guest. She's Hajia Rabi Dauda. She's the chairperson, caretaker committee, Sterling Committee, Coalition for Women for Osinbajo. All right, now, before we went on that break, we talked about quite a lot of things. We've talked about the women, we've talked about the youths, and then we've talked about your reason for coming out to pressure the vice president to vie for this position. Now, still talking about why you have this coalition asking vice president to vie for the position. And then we're still talking about youth coming out for politics. But then, checking from his age, he should be 65 in March this year. So if the age given by Nigeria, if the national age for youths given as a youth has gone above that age, so how do you still talk about youth coming into politics, because he's no longer in that age bracket?
I'm here to see any youth vying for the presidency. If I find any youth who convinces me beyond every reasonable doubt that they can perform, I have absolutely no reason not to support them. And age is just a number. Mr. Vice President is still very young. To the best of my knowledge, I see him bouncing every day. And he's not tired, he's not weakly. He's not sickly. Still very strong.
So he's a youth at heart.
You can say so.
Okay. Okay, so that means that is quite different from what you actually said before. If you say that you're yet to see any youth come out to vie for the position, so that means there's no room for the youth yet.
No, there's room. Absolutely, I disagree with you. There's room. There's room. I just told you, if you remember, I told you we were sensitizing the youth and the women to come out. Come out. Some of them are still shying away. Let them come out.
So will you give them the same support that you give the vice president?
Absolutely. If I'm absolutely sure you can perform, I'll do that. Irrespective of political party.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, I'm sure you must have heard that phrase, the youth are the future leaders of tomorrow. Do you believe in that? Does it apply in Nigeria?
Yes, I would say it applies. It does. It does. You find some youths behaving like babies. And you find some youths behave like elders. Nigeria is a versatile country. Ruling Nigeria is not my money. Being the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not my money. It's not child's play. So if you find a youth who is an elder at heart, an elder upstairs, I think he can make a good president. But let's see him. Let him come out and tell us what he can do.
So what happens to the vice president?
Not for now. Our job is to pressure Professor Yemi Osinbajo to come out. I am so Osinbajo-nated.
Ooh, I just heard that for the first time.
I am, I can't tell you. I can't wait to hear him announce to the world, I have been pressured and I accept. I'm waiting for that day.
So if any youth comes tomorrow and then you see that, you check their antecedents, you see how good they have done in politics or in business, in entrepreneurship, or whatever sphere of life they might have gotten into, if they come out tomorrow, you tell them that 2023 is not for you yet, because
they can't
it is
have
Osinbajo.
Professor Yemi Osinbajo's qualities in leadership. They can't have his leadership qualities. They can't have his political experience.
Okay. All right, great. So now, let's talk about women. Seeing that women have been successful in various ramifications of life, in business, as entrepreneurs, and leadership, even managing the home front. So, but then do you think that the Nigerian women are inclined and prepared for such humongous leadership role as being the president of the country, so complex as ours?
Yes, we have women out there who are capable of ruling this country. We have them. They've proven themselves in their various fields. They've proven to us that they can be trusted to manage our resources and not plunder it. A lot of women out there have made names for themselves in their various fields, even in politics, in business, in the corporate world, internationally even. Yes, Nigeria has such women. Beth, will they come out and vie for the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Is that a question? Okay, so do you think they will, if you have to answer for them?
I think they will. I don't know why they are not.
But then if you look at the last elections, you had the Obi Ezekwesilis that came out, and then at some point we didn't hear anything again. So do you think that the women are scared, so they prefer to stay in their own cocoon?
I don't know. I've never contested for the presidency of Nigeria. I can't answer that question. But I think political parties need to know more. Even if we can't get the presidency for now, they should give us the vice presidency. Where there's a female governor, a man should be deputy. Where there's a male governor, his deputy should be a lady. Where there's a president as a man, his vice president should be a lady. We're yet to get there. We're looking forward to getting there. And I'm sure we're getting there this time around.
Okay, great. So
there will be some surprises in the next general elections.
Oh, okay, so you said it starts with the political party.
Yes.
How much is APC doing in this regard?
Well, I cannot authoritatively speak for APC for now, as I sit here. But I can say they've been urging women to come out. We just had a conference for women, speaking in one voice, being united, supporting one another, making sure women who come out are supported. It's all part of the job. The national woman leader and her team came up with the conference as part of the sensitization I told you about. I'm sure women are going back home after this conference to work on it at home. We'll get results.
So now let's still touch a little bit about on your party that we've seen with what they came in. They came in with the mantra of change. They talked about how much they will do for the economy, how much they will stabilize the economy, secure the country, and then fight corruption. And then we know that your party has a lot of big wigs in the party who are their followers. So how much would you actually say that your party is still in tune with the Nigerian populace?
Well, everybody has his opinion. I have mine. To the best of my knowledge, they've done credibly well. There's recession all over the world. It's not peculiar to Nigeria alone. On the security issue, they've been fighting on it. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has been working on fighting corruption. The governors have been working on fighting corruption. The military has been working on fighting corruption. That it has not been totally arrested does not mean it has failed. Economically, the entire world went through recession. When the events of COVID and all that, there's a lot of setback. So a lot of things worked against the present administration, but I'll still give it a pass mark.
Oh, so you give all that is happening a pass mark?
Not all that is happening completely. I just said
economy-wise.
We have some shortfalls here and there.
Okay.
It's deliberate. It's not because APC wanted it to happen, or because APC didn't want to work, or because the APC government is too docile to work. It's because other things came up to prevent it from getting maximum results.
What could be these other things?
I just mentioned COVID-19.
COVID.
I just mentioned COVID.
But then you have a lot of people, a lot of the economies globally also went through the shocks of COVID-19, and then they've been able to recover out. But then we're still under this excuse of COVID, what COVID did.
We'll come out of it, I assure you.
Oh, great.
We're on the verge of coming out of it.
All right then. So, but then in the past, political indulgence, in terms of political indulgence, women have chaired and led some political offices, just like you are doing at the moment in your own quarters. Now, but then most of them have ended with some challenges, like the formal Speaker of the National Assembly, and then you have the formal Governor of Anambra State. Now, in view of this, would you actually say that the male counterparts in Nigeria, they don't have this space to accommodate women in politics, or they just feel that, or is it that the women, they can't actually replicate their efforts from business, leadership, the home front, into politics or in politics? Or maybe that's why we are actually yet to have a female president or vice president.
The men, to a certain extent, haven't been helpful enough. And I think it's because they are scared of the women. We have the number. They know what we can do. They know we can deliver. They know we can bring out their flaws. So they've not been helpful. So they do everything they can to see that a woman fails. But we'll get there. Fortunately, there are a few of them who are very he for she, who are out there helping women, assisting women. We have some governors who have a lot of women on their cabinets and all that. Gradually, we'll win them over.
All right, so what can you say is your project specifically for women in this election come 2023? Will they actually do better than they did in 2015 and 2019? And how prepared are you, or are the women come 2023?
The women are working. We're prepared come 2023. There will be a lot of changes. There will be more women vying for elective positions. There will be more women winning elections, because we will not leave the polling booths until our votes are counted. We will fight. We will go to court. We will do all that it takes. Where a woman wins election, we will make sure she is not her mandate is not stolen. We'll see to that.
So now, do you believe that any president can actually come on board, and then seeing what Nigeria is going through at the moment, there's any president that could come on board with probably a magic wand to turn things around?
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo is that magician. Try him.
All right then. So how do your group take advantage of organizing women, Nigerian women, to come out en masse to participate in the oncoming elections, aside coming together to pressure Vice President to vie?
We've been having rallies. We've also been having meetings in our various nuclear groups. We've been having conferences. We've been meeting. We've been sensitizing from local government levels to state levels to the federal levels. We've been sensitizing women through conferences, workshops, and what have you.
All right, now, so what are your last words? What have you got to say to Nigerians now? Because we see that you have meetings that you've organized, and then we just read out your last report on the last meeting you have. So what are your last words? What kind of words are you throwing to Nigerians at the moment in terms of who they should elect as the next Nigeria CEO, and then why? What they should look out for?
I will say to the Federal Executive Council, please have the interests of Nigerians at heart. Make the right choice when choosing the next candidate for the next presidential candidate. I will also say to the APC Convention Committee, do the right thing. Whether by indirect or direct voting, please do the right thing. I will say to delegates to that convention, Professor Yemi Osinbajo is the best candidate of all for the APC. And I will say to Nigerians, think deeply. Put on your searchlights on every other candidate. Have it at the back of your mind. Nigerians should not vote for any candidate that will come and use the coffers, our coffers, as an experiment to loot. I say to Nigerians, let's shine our eyes this time around. It should not be business as usual. We are the wiser. We are matured, democratically matured. We should do the right thing this time. No sentiments. There should be no sentiments. We should leave ethnicism, religious bigots aside, and please do the right thing by Nigeria. And Nigeria will be the better and greater for it.
What a very good way to end this conversation. But before we go, do you also have a candidate for the vice presidency?
I will leave that until Professor Yemi Osinbajo says to us, I'm ready to go.
Oh, really? Okay, so now there was this last interview that was granted by President Buhari, where he said that he was asked of who his successor will be, and then he said he will not name the person for fear of being eliminated. So is Vice President that anointed successor he was talking about? Do you know?
I am not, unfortunately, I am not President Muhammadu Buhari's wife or any of his aides. Neither am I a mind reader to be able to know whom President Buhari is talking about. I have absolutely no idea.
Okay. Let's leave it there. Thank you so much for your time with us, Hajia. We've been talking to Hajia Rabi Dauda. She is the chairperson, caretaker, Sterling Committee, Coalition of Women for Osinbajo. It's been a wonderful time having this discussion with you, really.
Thank you for having me.
All right,
it's been a pleasure being here.
It's been a pleasure having you too. All right, so you have heard it all from her, and then now it is time for Nigerians to go out there to get your PVCs regardless. 2023 is just few months. Some people are even counting days already. So we're just few days ahead, so we can make the right decision on who should govern us and be the next Nigeria's CEO. I will see you again next time. I'm sure you must have been educated, informed, and rightly entertained. Like I said, I'll see you again next time. From the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Annabelle Oji. God bless Nigeria.